guess what? It's number 21. We can now go, let's just bag this whole thing and go to the bar. We're now 21. What the hell time is it?
It's late. It's the Tonight Show. Johnny Carson, wasn't that what it was called?
Who's Johnny Carson?
Oh, never mind. You don't know?
No.
Oh, God.
I'll date myself. I watched that other guy. What was his name?
Jay Leno?
No. There was another.
Letterman?
No. There was another one. He was funny.
Howard Stern?
No. He was funny, but he got canned because he said something bad about his employer. He was, oh, I don't know. I'll look it up some other time.
Johnny Carson, man. The Tonight Show.
I think he's probably dead, would be my guess.
Yeah, probably years ago. That was a stellar old night show, man. Wow. He ruled the night.
You watched that on black and white TV, didn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, in the beginning it was black and white, yeah.
Yeah.
He was around for a long time.
Johnny Carson.
Yep, he had everybody on there. Well, those nice bumper caps.
It does have nice bumper caps. Okay, Ray. Well, there's the taxi. Brought it in, set it up today. Did an eval on it. Well, the customer sent us the machine, sent us the beautiful CPR Playfield, and I guess his initial intent was to just do the Playfield. To which I'm scratching my head because to look this machine over, it's just brutally average. Well, I can show that. I took some pictures of it earlier.
Yeah. Plus, when you get into the parts and take this apart, there's going to be things come up that it's going to need.
Well, you know...
And you really wouldn't want to put them things back on that.
No. When you do a Playfield swap, it's your opportunity to fix everything that's wrong while you're there.
Yeah, reasonably everything.
What?
There are some obvious things like a broken ramp and some other things. Like I see a lot of wrong hardware here. But you
yeah,
don't
and
put that
missing
stuff,
hardware, and sure.
Yeah, you don't put that stuff back on. I mean, it's not like you're trying to, you know, create a one-of-a-kind piece of art, but if you're going to do some labor work, which
I kind of disagree with it. I think if you're going Playfield swap, you're doing ultra high end.
Yeah, but
and it is your opportunity to really replace darn near everything possible.
You don't want to go too far with a machine, even if it's a Playfield swap, but you want to do obvious things to make it nice. You wouldn't want to put broken stuff back on, is all I'm saying.
No.
Yeah. It's pretty advanced thing to do to a machine. Even from a player's standpoint, I mean, a player's Playfield is no better or worse than this. It's just a game.
No, generally speaking. In fact, you know, I don't even know at this point, Ray, if we're actually going to do this Playfield swap or not. I contacted the customer and I gave him my estimate of what I thought this machine should get, and he's a little unsure what he wants to do at this point.
Right, he's on the fence about it.
And I basically said, well, you know, if you're just doing it to sell it or you're not going to keep it or whatever, then do basically nothing to it. Give it a tune-up. It needs a flipper rebuild. Tune it up, clean it up, rubber it, and move it. Because this restoration type of stuff, you know, you're lucky if you get 25 cents back on the dollar.
Right.
The high-end restoration stuff, you do that for something you're going to keep, like Jimmy's Elvira out there. You know, if he did that for resale, he's an idiot. But he did it because he wanted it.
That's the only reason you would do something like this.
Yeah, you do it because you want it.
Yeah.
Being not for resale or not for adding value to a machine. So that was the first question on my list of what we're talking about here on this Playfield swap is why do a Playfield swap? I guess we just covered that.
Yeah.
Do it because you want a nice machine. Frankly, from you know, I play pinball. I don't get it. I don't understand Playfield swap, Ray. You know, you make it that nice, like that Centaur we did. I didn't want to play that. For God forbid you scratch it. I mean, what fun is that? I don't get it.
Well, I guess it's an attempt for somebody to have a nice piece. And if you're going to worry about playing it, then you shouldn't really even do it. What do you think's going to happen? It's a steel ball rolling
Yep, it's
around.
going to wear, it's going to get
Dude,
scratched.
and it's a heavy steel ball. It's not light. What do you think's going to happen? There's impacts, there's dents, there's balls. It's like throwing, you'll get dents. I mean, wear marks, it's eventually going to wear a couple hundred games, maybe 1,000 games. I don't know. Yeah, what do you think's going to happen? You know, you wouldn't want to do it if you're
Going to play it.
right. You might as well just hang that on the wall.
That's what I was thinking. You want a new playfield? Buy the new playfield, hang it on the wall, and then continue to play your pin.
And look at that, and look at that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it, Ray. But, you know,
What happens in
we're laborers. We do whatever we're told to do.
any kind of collector hobby? It happens. Even cars, you know, people go to great lengths to restore them, then they don't want to drive it, and they trailer it everywhere. I guess. But I would suggest that he does this. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him. But I mean, I wouldn't do this advanced piece and leave everything else around to go.
No.
To put broken stuff back on it's just not.
Oh, yeah, and the cabinet is, you know, marginal at best. It's not trash, but it's,
Yeah.
you know, it certainly ain't great. The thing is, it is a Maryland. It's a good core. I mean, we can make this thing look brand new from top to bottom.
We had one that we did. We had two, maybe.
Yeah, we just cleaned that. We just did a refurb on that Maryland taxi we had. It was a pretty nice core, though.
And we did new ramps and everything on the wall.
Okay, while you're at it, quiz time. How long have I been with you?
3.5 years?
I don't know, something like that.
3.5, 4.
Probably 3.5, maybe 4, 3.5. All right. I wrote down my list of playfield swaps we did. See if you can name them all and see if I missed any.
Oh my.
You ready? Well, you can start off with the worst one.
Checkpoint.
Okay, yeah. Start off with this. Now what's the second worst one?
Playfield swaps. The second worst one, Centaur.
Yep, Centaur. Okay. Those were my first two that came to mind. Why were they so bad?
Why were they so bad? Limited parts support for the checkpoint,
Yeah.
and the core game was an import, which was poorly maintained and
Was there
serviced
any
and
part
had
on that thing that wasn't
no
broke?
bolt or nut was not rusty, twisted, bent, stripped. Right, there it is. All of them.
Thing
All
was
5,000 fasteners were
Busted from top to bottom. Everything was broke. Yeah. And Centaur was just too complex for
Tired.
its day.
It was tired. Yeah, it was too complex, yeah.
Okay, you got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 more on my list.
5 more.
Yeah.
Well, I know you did medieval.
Okay, that was the easiest one. If you're doing a playfield swap and you've got a very late model Bally Williams, they a lot of the assemblies underneath were actually modular.
Right.
Each one had its own connector, so you could connect the
Wiring
coil.
harness is a lot easier to deal
Yeah,
with.
so you could disconnect a part, move it over, and that made it kind of easy. Okay, medieval.
Brake shot, Capcom.
Brake shot. Yep, that was one. That was kind of a nightmare.
I think that's as far as I remember.
There's a slam dunk. There's one out in the middle of the floor right now.
Well, okay, Elvira was current, sure.
Yeah, that was a full playfield swap.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, 2 more. Frank Dole's.
Oh yeah, Frank's NFL.
Yes.
Stern.
Custom Cowboys.
Yeah, that wasn't terrible. I finished
No,
at the end of that.
wasn't too bad. I think we kind of tag teamed that one. One more.
One more.
Drop target mod.
Oh, firepower.
There you go.
Yeah, that was neat.
I'm going to try to round up pictures of all those.
Did we do Flash? Did we do a Flash?
No, we restored a flat. We restored several.
No,
that,
we did a playfield swap on a Flash.
Where would we have gotten an NOS or restored
I
flash
thought CPR
playfield?
did one like they did firepower, and we did a Flash and a firepower. Maybe not.
No. We did a really nice flash, but Felix just touched up the playfield on it and we roll with it.
I thought we did a CPR flash. Now that you mentioned firepower. Huh?
Not that I recall. We put a new repro back glass in it that didn't fit, and you had to hone out the back box on it to get the glass to fit. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was flash.
I thought they did flash CPR.
I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. They do make a nice playfield, though. I'm pretty impressed
I'd like to see their operation.
with their workmanship.
I never will, but that's pretty neat to do that. That is something else. It's actually better in person than any camera will catch.
Yeah, but there are
really neat.
There are imperfections, though. Look at Drac very carefully. Take a look at Drac and tell me what's wrong with him.
I don't see anything.
At the top of the insert.
Top of the insert.
Artwork's missing. See it?
Oh, you mean about his
His hair. Yeah.
Okay.
They missed it.
Maybe that's for effect, man.
No. You can see it's kind of.
Yeah.
But so be it. Who cares?
It's not a painting.
Yeah.
I don't know. People really appreciate the artwork in these things, and maybe that's why that gets done in a mediocre game, but it's not a good financial move to do it. You want to do what you can to make it right, to protect your investment, that's all. If you jump in and do the middle of it, I don't know really how to even example that. I guess, hey, if you rebuild the transmission and you leave the motor blown up or burning oil, wow, okay, and the tires are wore out, I guess that would be a good example. Why would you do the transmission, leave it there?
Yeah.
Let it slip. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really get it, but I mean, I get it as far as,
Well,
again, like Jim's Elvira out there. If it's something you want and you want it to be as nice as it can be, yeah, why not? Playfield's available. You want a darn near new out of the box taxi, and price isn't really an issue. Can make it happen. So I don't know. I put down here determining factors for doing it. I don't know, Ray. Are you going to play it or just look at it? Yeah. I don't think you liked my estimate, Ray.
well, it's not much more than what the deposit was.
No, it was only triple.
No, it wasn't triple.
Yeah, I'm triple.
Well, the deposit was a deposit. That wasn't to cover the whole thing.
I know.
I mean, I guess maybe you thought that. I don't know. But like anything else, once you dig into something, it's not gonna get better. It's just gonna add more. I mean, once you start to take something apart. It's a mixed bag, man.
Yeah, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine this, Ray? Hey, looks like the slam switch works. Alright, we'll do a playfield swap, but we'll leave this. We'll leave that mud in there. That'll look good. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And rust? Yeah, that's nice. Rivals ramp is broken. I don't see any broken plastics on it, which is a little bit odd. It's got these it's got a full plastic protector set on there,
Right.
which is, I got mixed opinions about those too, Ray.
Yeah.
Don't like them actually. They make everything not fit.
Not fit. Yeah, it's true, they do. It's their function.
Hey, there's a book. That is a very important part of doing a playfield swap,
It's a reprint, yeah.
is have the book. Arcade Russ says look at the manual. It's doing the Elvira one, or any of these. Any of the ones we've done, we couldn't have done without the book. Because you get to tracing, well, where's this wire go and what's it for? And hey, there's some original, what year was this thing built?
88.
No, there's some flippers from 88. They are whooped.
Yeah, and the strokes are old.
What? Look at this thing. What? Did you see it wobble sideways when you touched it?
Yeah.
Hubs broke. We can put those back on. We'll install those on the new playfield, Ray. What do you think? I actually thought about calling the guy and just offering to buy it, just to keep it from going the wrong way. Because I'm going to feel some sort of way if I'm installing them flippers on there. And then putting our name on it, no less. Yeah, don't look, it's all shot. I mean, it's not in bad shape. I mean, I don't see, of course I see, what is this crap here?
Oh my.
Touched it, it's falling.
No, don't do that.
Don't touch it?
No, don't do that.
You ever have problems with the System 11 board?
If you're going to go to all that work, you might as well just do all the little extra and be done with it.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the kind of stuff you fix, and that's not on the estimate either. But, you know, you touch an assembly, you go over it, you clean it, you fix it.
Yeah, you can't leave stuff. If you're going to put stuff that's wrong or broke back on, it's not worth even doing. I don't know, Mike. But that's the logistics of playfield swaps. If anybody's interested, you should survey what your old piece is first.
And know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and just like restoring anything else that has a lot of parts to it, be prepared for extra, because it will happen. And the right time to do the extra is now.
Yeah.
Not later.
Well, it's like...
Because that's double, triple labor.
Oh, if I weren't so tired, I could remember who it was. He asked about when to do LEDs, do them all or whatever.
Yeah.
It's this kind of thing. When you're in there, do it all.
It was that guy you just talked to.
Yeah, you know, I talk to him a lot, or talk about him a lot.
Kevin.
No, it's not Kevin. Kevin got the playfield. Where is he? He's
Okay.
around here somewhere. Might have been Gary.
Gary.
No. Oh yeah, blah. You know, I've been this video almost didn't happen, Ray. I've been sick all week, and you just meandered in here. It's 10:30 at night on Thursday, and
Yeah, it is.
so at any rate, here I got something else to say. If you're going to do a playfield swap, here, you, Ray, you're the star of the show. Talk about this piece of junk over here.
I'm not the star.
Yes, you are. What do you got there? Wow, that looks like junk. We could install that on the new playfield.
I need one of those.
Well, there it is. At any rate, where did that come from? Why do we have it? What the hell?
It's probably going to be used for reference, mostly for wiring harness location. Other than that, it has no use.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of different methods, I guess, or ideas about methods of how to do a playfield swap, and I've tried a few different ones, Ray. There's take photos of everything. How does that work out?
It don't, because it's not three-dimensional, and even a film, even a camera, can't capture
You're
the
trying to look.
3D of it.
You're trying to look at wire colors, and this is underneath
you're
that.
You're going to miss screw sizes and shapes. And
photo's going to be wrong no matter what you do. Tried that though. Didn't work so well.
yeah. And there's different builds, you know. There's new and old Bally's, new and old Williams, and then you've got different manufacturers like Gottlieb. And it's hard enough just taking the top stuff apart, let alone the bottom.
Photos. Yeah. You can try it. I did. Doesn't work so good.
I remember Big Hurt.
That was not a Playfield swap, right?
No, it wasn't.
That was just the top side.
was a painful-
That was another one of those days I almost quit.
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
That thing was double bad.
It was in parts boxes.
That one was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
I took the Mylar off, and I'm trying to think of a word that I can substitute for what I want to say about the Playfield underneath. I lost a whole bunch of artwork.
Yeah.
And then I went to put it back together. I couldn't figure out what I was doing.
We had Felix paint that.
Yeah, he repainted it. So, okay, method number 2, and this is the one I've been kind of using the most recently. Wow. I draw numbers on everything, Ray.
Yeah.
On the back of the playfield, on the old playfield, like Kevin's Elvira playfield. That's why I sanded it, because I wanted to sand off all of my notes. I wrote notes on the back of the old playfield.
Well, if it helped you, right?
It did a little bit. Yeah. What helped more than anything was the book. So you can write notes on the back of the old playfield, maybe a numbering system. I had out a bunch of Sharpies, and I would number, like controlled lights would be purple, and switches would be green.
The few that I have done, it's probably a good idea when you're doing it to put on the big metal assemblies first, like your flippers and your target. And you can cut off the coil wires.
You can do that.
And leave a sample color on there so you know where you're at on it. You can even label them, but really where the wiring harness goes tells you where it goes. But I guess if you put the big stuff on first, it helps it, you know, and then you're going to want to put your brackets back on. Just some of the core stuff, I guess, first as far as the bottom goes.
Well, I've got it first before that, Ray.
If I was doing Playfield swap from bare to here, I guess the first thing I would do would be to put the wood on, and then flip around the back and do the metal. I don't know. It's. What would you do?
Yeah, dealer's choice. First thing is going to be T-nuts. You want to install all of your T-nuts, because when you start putting stuff on, you won't be able to get to some of them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
In fact, Ray, since we're in the hardware store, I went up and I ordered a box of 6s and 8s today, for stock and or for this job. You can reuse T-nuts, but
sometimes you can.
for the amount of trouble it takes to get it out and then to try to straighten the little tabs on it and put them back in, I'll put new ones in.
Well, sometimes the tabs aren't bent, but they'll come out, and there's a technique you can use to get them out.
Yeah, well, in part 2 of this series, if we in fact do this playfield swap, I'll demonstrate that, Ray. Yeah.
That's a number 8.
Yeah, they're easy to get out.
Yeah, you just push on them with a screw.
And I have a little trick to put them in, and we'll show that. So, and the third method is the one we're looking to try on this, Ray, and having the scrap playfield for the haunted house builds, that was great. And you saw how I did my last playfield swap. I just stripped the whole thing, top to bottom, off. Just rip it all off, and then try to figure out where everything goes. And I think this scrap of Playfield's gonna make a nice reference for that.
The hardest thing is when you're building a playfield is putting the jet bumpers back on and the flipper assemblies. Everything else is just modular, but those things have work on the top and on the bottom. Some of these things just go from the bottom up. And of course the flippers are harder because of most of the components underneath here have to be replaced. You don't want to put old wore out stuff back on. You really shouldn't while you're at it. Save the labor involved, and that's what you play with. You know, you want to have good flipper. I wouldn't put anything old back on. That thing has everything old, really. Yeah, it works, but it's old. And if you're going to put it back on, how much longer is it going to work? Why would you even want to? For a couple more bucks, I mean, if you're stepping forward to do a playfield swap in the beginning, I don't think my money should be an issue to vest on.
No. Do it right, or don't do it.
It's out of logical
Well, we've said
sense.
this before.
It's out of step. It's out of...
Do it right or don't do it.
Yeah. And then, you know, you have metal work to clean and do as you're going, and depending on who serviced it over the years, and even if it was treated right, the hardware is always wrong and substituted, and you spend a lot. People think that's just easy to go and find the unique hardware that goes on the stuff, and I like to keep the hardware correct. I'm kind of weird about that. You know, when I did the Kings and Queens, you know,
Yeah.
we'll tape that and you can see what that does look like finished because it's done.
Cool.
And it wasn't a playfield swap, but everything came off the top.
Sure.
I had nothing on the top.
Well, we do that more often than not.
I mean, everything was off the top.
Every one of our shop jobs is that. I tear the top side totally down every time.
Right. It was flat wood.
I mean, save. I mean, I don't always pull out like the lane, the lanes that you hammer in, stuff like that.
I pulled everything.
Well, you did. I don't always do that, but
There wasn't many. It's an old game. It's not like a newer game like this. There was only 3 or 4 of those things, but that was an example of, well, I'm just going to put my new rubber kit and my polished posts and new lane guides and bulbs back on the playfield and just clean it.
yeah, no.
Well, I cleaned the playfield and somebody
Yeah, we already
shellacked it over the years.
We already covered this, right?
Oh my. So
Did you weld that gun together
I
yet?
made it look bad.
Did you fix the gun yet?
No, I didn't. I set up the welder. It took about an hour to change it from aluminum,
Shiznit.
from steel to aluminum, and then I had to rig it up so that when I weld it, I can put it back together without it busting apart. And I'll probably get to that over the weekend because it's too late to go home and weld right now. But it took me a while to set it up and prepare the part. You have to V-cut the part so you have something to weld to, because you can't weld onto a flat surface like this or you'll have a hump. You've got to V it deep, so you put your weld in the V and then you grind smooth and you have material left. You don't just weld on top of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you want to look at the bead. That's fine. But the weld has to be substantial. If you weld and grind off, you have no weld left. So you have to V out all around that trigger assembly. And that's, I've done it before. It makes it strong. Most people would probably glue it and paint over the glue.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a high stress part anyway because it's bolted together. But yeah, I'll get it done and then move on.
All right. Well, Ray, we're going to halfway mail in this tech tips just based on the fact that we don't. I kind of lost the go-ahead on this job.
Yeah, we would show
point.
some of this starting.
I'd get started, but I don't. It's kind of on hold. But I'm assuming that we're going to follow through with this. So perhaps next week we'll get into the first steps. I want to talk about GI lighting on these things. The factory GI lighting on this, Ray.
Yeah.
To hell with that. I ain't really doing that. I hate that. Can't stand it. It's not serviceable. You can't change a light from underneath. I don't want to staple in new or old braid. I'm going to scrap that whole system and rewire the GI like I did on Jimmy's. Serviceable.
It's an upgrade.
So that if you want to change a bulb, you can change a bulb.
Well, they did this for
Well,
economical.
well, sure. That was a different manufacturing process.
You noticed the later years they changed that.
Yeah, because the operators hated it.
Right, right.
So maybe we'll talk about that. We stock lamps, Ray, and they're not used either. Those are all new.
Lamp sockets, yeah. All right, well that's a wrap.
So I want to talk. Well, yeah, I don't want to wrap though. Let's. I'll tell you what we can do is I want you to evaluate this taxi and tell me what you think it should get over here, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay. I already know.
Yeah, I know you already know, but I want you to confirm my estimate
Confirm it?
because you didn't really look at it.
I looked at it.
What's this pin need? Don't hold back. Make it as nice as it can be.
Well, it needs flipper cabinet switches.
Yep. Cabinet switches are shot.
Yeah.
Original.
Yeah, they are
Beat.
original. And then it needs a flipper rebuild because this is all old, used, worn out.
All of it.
Yeah, it needs coils. It needs flipper link kit.
Hubs,
That comes in a kit.
bats, everything.
Yep. You know, you'll find broken stuff when you take.
Yeah, I
it
didn't look at the
apart,
pop
but
bumpers, but I'm assuming probably all three links are probably broke.
They might be cracked, yeah. And if they're cracked, then they need replaced.
Okay, I didn't put them on the list.
I guess that's what I would suggest for the playfield. This
Displays,
plasma is,
Shot.
is
it's working, but the bottom section's falling down and it's getting blurry.
yeah, it's starting to outgas in the corners. That's a margin call if somebody wants to update their machine. If you'd want it updated, that'd be a good idea.
The problem with margin calls is we're doing a brand new playfield in this thing, and you want to leave a margin piece in it.
The ramp, this ramp is
Ramp's
every
broke.
which way.
Yeah.
The other one's new, so that's
Hey, this is an opportunity for us to. I took a picture of why the new ramp doesn't fit, Ray, and why you can't carve the. It's not a matter of carving the ramp because it's not that it doesn't fit in the front; it's that it doesn't fit there.
yeah.
That's where it hits.
Yeah, the shelf down below isn't deep
That
enough.
thing's up about 30 thousandths.
It's a wonder if that works. Does that ball hop?
Hey, of course it does. Plays like crap.
Yeah, that's something that needs done when you do ramps. New ramps are thicker, and you have to relieve the wood to make the ramp come back down again.
Yeah, and actually knowing that ahead of time is good because we'll do our playfield carving now.
Yeah.
You'll want to take out a section here. Oh, I don't know. But that's where it is.
I wonder if they made it deeper. It feels pretty deep.
No, it's not the deepness, it's the depth of it.
Oh, the end.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the rivets.
You see where it hits?
Mm-hmm.
If you look in from here, you can see where it hits.
Well, I can't really see in there, but I can feel it. I
Yeah.
can feel a rivet, yeah.
I did not put plastics. Plastics are available for this. Normally, if I was doing a playfield swap, I would say plastics. I didn't in this case. They're not perfect. They're a little bit scratched here and there, but didn't see anything broken, Ray.
Okay.
Lane guides are okay. Normally, I would say jewel posts or star posts or whatever Steve calls them. I left them alone. They look okay. Although I imagine on teardown, I'll probably find a few that aren't so great, but who knows. Obviously rubber. Argument over LEDs. But that's kind of just a preference
Yeah.
at this point.
It would look nicer in this game, though.
Yeah. Ray, I gave us 5 hours of cabinet labor.
Yeah.
Explain what cabinet labor is.
That's Felix.
No, not paint, but us, our
To
end.
prep it, yeah, for Felix.
Yeah. What happens?
Well, you have to take everything off, all the hardware, side rails, the plunger, the coin door housing, the start button,
Uh huh.
anything that's exterior.
Lock bar.
Yeah.
Whatever this is.
Well, that'll get filled. That was a
Yeah. There's more of it.
that was a
Topper off.
coin door.
So I gave us 5 hours to take all that stuff off
Bar.
and put all that stuff back on.
That's reasonable because it takes about that. Because you'd have to take all the hardware out.
Yep.
Separate the electronics so the head is another piece and it can be refinished.
What else did I put on here? $600 worth of paint work. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Oh, I took pictures. I don't have to walk around this thing. It's not the worst I ever saw, but ain't as nice as the last one. Ain't as nice as the last two we had. There were two, Ray.
Right.
There was the Maryland that we had that went to Mark Hittner, and then there was the one that Jimmy had. That you remember that one well because it had board problems forever, and that one's right up the street. You know where that is?
Mm-hmm.
We should go visit that one of these days. The arrivals ramp. That's $120. Shooter rebuild. Your favorite, Ray. What's this doing here?
That's the wrong way.
That's wrong.
Goes on the other side.
How's that look?
It's wore out.
Looks like crap. How's this thing look?
Sleeve?
No, the next piece.
The sleeve.
No, this
Oh, that?
this big piece on the outside here that
how's
I
that?
that I can get a brand new one for $12.
Uh-huh.
How about a brand new one instead of that old crap? And on in, it's the whole thing's wrong and messed up. How about some new flipper buttons? Can we put new flipper buttons on it?
Mm-hmm.
Display, blown out leg levelers. Coin door. Ray, I gave us an hour to recon the coin door.
Okay.
Not that it's that bad, but it ain't that great neither. It's not that bad though. I'm fairly happy with this coin door.
Okay. Well, it's mad at you now. You kicked it.
Yeah, I'll kick it again. Yeah, I'll kick the whole thing. It's not that bad. I've seen worse. Playfield glass is scratched.
Yeah.
Ray, I gave us an hour to recon the side rails and the lock bar. The lock bar includes this dirty, grungy thing. Blast and paint that, and then there's something we can show one of these days is how we recon either a side rail or a lock bar. We got a trick for that. It works pretty good.
Yeah.
We finally figured it out after we tried
Something
800 different methods. We finally got the right one. That works good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's all I got to it, Ray.
Well, I think it'd be worth doing.
It ain't so
in my
bad.
opinion.
I would do it. It's a nice core. You know, it ain't a total piece of trash.
It's a fun game. It's not like it's a no-name game.
No.
It's
And it is a real Maryland, and people care about
right
that.
in the core of their fun games, really, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, they had a number of games that followed this same exact rule set. Taxi, Diner, Police Force. Same rule set.
Mm-hmm.
Fun, worked. People love these pens.
They did.
I love this. If I, well, Police Force, I think ruined my college career, Ray.
They did.
Because I played Police Force instead of going to class.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
You don't find them in good shape. They're usually played to death.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what the customer's going to do here. If he doesn't really want the game, I'm going to suggest just doing nothing to it. You know, we can play it right now, Ray. It works. A flipper rebuild, you know, all of it, including the cabinet switches. You know, wipe it down and off you go.
I don't know.
Well, we'll find out. That's all I got, Ray. I wanted to do more, but since we don't have the green light yet, and because we're really tired, let's end this thing. We'll just apologize to everybody.
Why? Making a short one?
Yeah, we've made a really boring, lousy, not very helpful.
Another thing I'd want to say to people is when you're working on this stuff, my preference is hand tools. I don't like power tools to work on these.
Okay.
You can, I guess, when you're taking it apart, because who cares if it slips off?
Sure.
But a power tool like these power screwdrivers and other whatever,
Yeah, well,
they tend to get away from you, even if you set the clutch right, because you're holding the tool different than you would be if you're turning something. You have more control.
well, I'll just offset what you say. I don't know if I 100% agree with you, but I think the underlying thing you're saying is don't be in a rush. Take your time.
Yeah,
Be careful with what you're doing.
I have used power screwdrivers to do work, and I find out that about half the time I'll slip off if I have a long job like that. And I just don't want the potential to wreck something that I could control. That's why I don't like them. They're good for long repetitive work, you know, if you've got a underneath screw this long, but most of the screws are short on these, or they should be anyway. So that's another thing I'd want to say to people: use hand tools as most you can. You can control them easier unless you're really good with the power tool. You got to watch using a drill driver or something, because you can wreck your effort, scratch it,
Yeah.
and then it won't come off easy now. It's already gone, just because you're in a hurry for the screws. So really, you got to watch using those unless you're really careful and good with it. That's the important thing I would say that most people don't pay attention to. They just grab it and go, and a lot of the times you can't feel what's happening with the screw, and it'll bust off. And if it busts off now, at least with a screwdriver you can feel that. It may give you a chance to put some Croil or some other penetrating solvent on it and save aggravation of the dreaded nutsert or T-nut. Yeah.
No, I'll partially agree with you on assembly.
You've done enough, you know what it is.
I won't. I don't need to agree with you on disassembly, because when you're tearing one of these things apart for a Playfield swap, you get the blast and there ain't much.
Anybody that does it, a lot of the work of tearing a Playfield apart, whether it's the whole thing or just the top, knows what that's all about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had it slip before. Made me angry. All right, Ray. Let's wrap this up. I'm tired. I still don't feel good. I'm gonna go home and edit this till 3 in the morning.
I had a call that lasted 4.5 hours.
Did you fix that thing?
I did more than that. I did a field shop job.
Yeah.
Took the whole top apart, everything. Had a bucket of water, washed everything, re-rubbered it, relamped it. Somebody put number 89 flash lamps in. And then I took this, the guy was really disturbed about this. And he said, please get that off.
Oh, he said, please take that sticker off of my. Oh my Lord!
It was
Ray, you're on cue.
It was worse than this. This was here,
Yeah.
and then that big one was over here. And that was
right.
the paper. Sorry. I said, dude, don't have a cow. He said, I don't know if I can get it. I don't like that on my cars. I don't like it on anything.
I don't like that on my pin.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want that on. And he was trying to get it off, but he didn't scratch it. He was peeling the paper off. I said, dude, leave it alone. I'll get it off. So I used CP 100 and Pledge, and I softened it up, and it came off, and it really was great. He made light of it. So
All right, Ray.
he said, I like that.
I'm blinking out of film. Okay, Ray, we changed cameras almost seamlessly. Put an ending on this. I want to go home. Shout out to somebody.
Chris at CNK YouTube.
Who the hell is?
shout-out.
Who is Chris at CNK YouTube?
He's the guy that was doing a video and said how hard it was.
Oh,
Discovered. He said it's harder than I thought.
these are easy to make, Ray. You just
Sure.
you just grab a camera,
the
you
button.
point and shoot.
Just push the button.
I'm dying on camera. Pardon my cold, Chris. We appreciate what you said there, and thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Well, okay. Well, next week, Ray. I guess next week's going to be.
What are we going to do next week?
Well, I'm thinking we're going to try to do what we really didn't do this week.
How to do a coin door.
Yeah, coin door.
Coin door.
No coin doors. Maybe how to take out a coin door. We can, if he gives us the go ahead to send this thing to paint, we can show paint prep. And we can show how to install some T-nuts in the Playfield. Start ripping.
Okay.
So next week, hopefully, a continuation of what we're doing on this taxi. Sunday. What did Mel and me? What did Mel shoot on Sunday?
Pirate?
Pirates of the Caribbean. She actually pretty much produced this week's feature pin, Ray. Did I tell you that?
Oh, neat.
Yeah, she kind of did it on her own and told me what to do. That was different.
Wow.
So and she played a good game on it too. On cue, first take.
She likes that game?
I don't know. She seemed to.
We had it here before.
Yeah, Blark.
Clark.
Yeah. Okay, Sunday, Pirates of the Caribbean. Next Friday, taxi continuation of this restoration, Playfield swap, or whatever it's going to be. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Next week.
Couldn't let me go home, did you? Hey!
Hi, we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Want to know what's coming next? Go like us on Facebook right now. You can keep up to date with all of us here at the shop and what we've been up to. Thank you for watching.